The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Jeje ODONG, came out to say that in the next cycle of the Ugandan Parliament, there are going to be issues of the transition.
I would like to appeal to all citizens in Uganda to be cautious, responsible in exercise their democratic rights in selecting their leader. The 12th Parliament is built to be a transition parliament, a parliament that's going to discuss matters around transition. So
that is the Minister of Foreign Affairs coming out to say that in the next parliament they are going to speak about transition. One thing is clear, that transition is hovering over Uganda. I remember ever since we attained our independence in 1962, we've never had a peaceful transfer of power. In fact, we've never had a proper transition. Mutesa was bombed out by Obote. Obote was bombed out by Amini. Okay, Amini was bombed out by Kikosi Maalum and helped by the Tanzanians. Obote 2 came out. Obote 2 was pushed out. Bina Isa, Paulo Muwanga, Tito Okello Lutwa, now MUSEVENI. The problem of our country has always never been transition, no succession. What the NRM is looking forward to do is building a succession from General Kaguta Museveni to his son. Yes, ordinarily is supposed to be a transition. So the purpose of this video, I've come to talk about the statements which are made by the Foreign Affairs Minister, what it means for our politics, and most importantly, the certain materials we can learn from the politics of our nation. But before I do this, I want to let you know that if you're new to this channel, please subscribe. And if you're watching this video from a different platform, please head on to YouTube, type in Sula Mawagali. There's a lot of content of this nature. If geopolitics and economics is what you want, this will be definitely the right channel for you to subscribe to. So, first of all, one thing for sure is transition is near. We have a leader who is 82 years. By virtue of being 82, you are an octogenarian. I'm a person who can still be on this earth for the next 60 years, but a person who is 80 cannot be. So even the first family knows that transition is hovering, either through elections or by natural means. In fact, I remember reading a book in Kenya where the first Kenyatta was also old because he became president when he's already old. When he was leading in his elder years, they decided to speak a transition. A law was brought in parliament thinking that Uhuru was out of power, it was treasonous. And we are going to reach there. I know you keep this video for future reference. A law is going to be passed that thinking about transition or thinking that Museveni has left power is going to be criminal. Because now people are speaking about it openly. This is the Minister of Foreign Affairs. He came out to say in this election that speak about transition, but remember, even this election transition has been at the center stage. It's the reason why even the first family is panicking to see who's going to secure their gains. They are flaunting Moses Karugaba, the first son, who is incompetent, he knows no public administration, he doesn't know how to speak to the people, he's sensitive when they speak about him, he's always violent, and he doesn't have the demeanor of his father. His father may have some qualities, of course it's a dictatorship, but the son lacks even 22% of his father. So by the Foreign Minister coming out to say that in the next parliament they're going to speak about transition, is not something to take for granted. In fact, the Foreign Minister said these statements.
As we enter 2026, the very first concern and challenge that we are faced with, a very positive challenge indeed, is the election of our leaders, political leaders at different levels, right from the village up to the head of state, the president. I would like to appeal to all citizens in Uganda to be cautious, responsible in exercise their democratic rights in selecting their leader. The 12th Parliament is built to be a transition parliament, a parliament that's going to discuss matters around transition. This is a very weighty matter, and we, the people in Teso, as citizens of Uganda, should be full participants in the discussions and the debates in Parliament on the matters of transition. I have often told people here in Orumo that if you have the intentions or even the slightest thinking of getting involved in election theft, it is important that you have a discussion with your family and you say bye-bye to them as you go to conduct this theft. Write your will in advance. We'll have no kind words, no sympathy with election thieves.
So that is the Foreign Affairs Minister. One, I took two things away from his submission. One, it is speaking about transition openly because it is on our table. We must face it. It's like when you are moving in a jungle and you see a lion, a hungry lion. You either have to run and hide or fight it. It has to eat you or you have to kill it. Transition is on our table. It is discussed. If a cabinet minister comes out to discuss it openly, it means that even those who are burying their heads in the sand know what is happening. Two, he came out to threaten that any person who comes out to steal elections will be facing chaos and they will die, that they should make a will. And that is below the belt. Under our constitution, different crimes have different penalties. Let me assume even if elections are stolen, you don't warrant killing anyone. It is unconstitutional. You take him to court. And we all know the court have always come out not once, not twice to show the election thief. Although they don't come out to overturn the election. They normally come out the election was unfair, blah, 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 but they still uphold it. The election thief is known. These people are playing reverse psychology. They are the people who are always on the forefront of stealing elections, yet they come out to threaten us and show cause that they want a free and fair election. As we are right now, we may think that we're in the battlefield where opposition leaders are beaten left, right, and center. They are blocked from reaching where they're supposed to campaign from. That is also another type of election theft. So the threats do not work. Although, even those running the government should understand that the country has ever faced a civil war because of the poor handling of the 1980 elections. In fact, very many wars here and tribal wars in Uganda have a history, or either a referendum like the one in 1964, okay, which culminated in the overthrow of the all kingdoms in Uganda in 1966 was because of elections. The elections in 1980, okay, before we got our independence, the battle between DP and UPC, it was because of elections. So the poor handling of elections will bring an anarchy in our country. Of course, that's my opinion. Remain yours truly, Mr. Makindi, Sulaiman Mawagali. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe, like, and comment so that I can be motivated to do more of such videos. I'll see you on another one. Peace.